tadpoles aren't the only thing in the aquarium, so let's take a look on Frog Watch. Okay, so it's time to have a look at some of the things that we find in the aquarium here. Now, I think I've showed you this one before. You can see on this leaf there's a little sort of blob. It's kind of a comma-shaped, I believe that is a newt egg. And what happens is newts will lay their eggs singly on leaves and then wrap the leaves around them. You can see this kind of leaf has been slightly deformed. There's a good size comparison with the tadpole there. But you can see this kind of comma-shaped, sort of, it's wrapped around there. Now, I think that is ready to hatch out. I've been trying to get some movement on camera because I have seen this wriggle around occasionally. Unfortunately, I don't think I catch any of the movement on camera. But I've got a few little clips here which show it looking at sort of different positions. So here we go. This is a few minutes later, and you can see it's a really good view here. Actually, you can really see it curved around. You can see its head and its tail. And also, actually, you can see that little shape just coming out of the leaf just now. I don't know what that is, and I've not seen anything else in the water like that. It's a tiny, absolutely tiny little creature, I suppose, swimming around in this water. You can see how it's moving. It's barely, it's hardly say it's swimming. It's more kind of wading through the water, because at that scale, water is really thick. So this here is a newt that has hatched out. So we do have one newt definitely in there. You can see there's eyes on the front of its head. It's very small, very slender body, and you should be able to make out some thin, feathery gills either side of its head. Try and get this focused in properly. So yeah, so that is in our tank, and it's very interesting to keep an eye on how that grows. Now, I have found conflicting information on the internet. Some say that newts will eat vegetation and algae and things much the same as tadpoles when they first hatch out, and then become carnivorous later. But I have seen other information that says newts are carnivorous right from the start. So here we have a snail. You can see how it's kind of wriggling its body back and forth. That's how they swim, really. I mean, you do see them floating around. Most of the time they kind of crawl on the plants and on the stones in the side of the tank, but sometimes they either lose grip or they want to get somewhere else. They will let go, and they will sort of wriggle around and float around at the surface, almost like they're swimming. I do have two snails in this tank. Let's have a good close-up look at the tadpole there, and back to our newt there. So I don't know what to do about the newts, whether I'll need to get rid of them at some point. Let's see if I can get this guy to move. I'll sort of try and disturb him. You can see how fast these actually move. I tap the rock. Wow, really, really fast. He really shoots off and hides underneath that rock. They're a lot more shy than the tadpoles. I don't see them too much. So right now we have these things here. These are water boatmen. These are really interesting, actually. I've basically come back to this tank after the weekend. It's now Monday morning at this point. The previous clip was Friday afternoon. And so these have hatched out over the weekend, and there are 5 of these little guys in here. Now, there are 2 types of water boatmen. There's the lesser water boatmen and the greater water boatmen. Lesser water boatmen swim on their fronts, and they're slightly smaller, and they are herbivores. They will eat plant matter and things. The greater water boatmen will swim on the backs, also known as back swimmers. They're slightly larger, and they are carnivorous, so they will eat, you guessed it, things like tadpoles. So what are these? Well, these are great water boatmen. Of course they are. So these are the carnivorous type that will eat tadpoles. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to get rid of these guys. I mean, look at the size of them, though, compared to the tadpoles. How are they going to eat the tadpoles? I don't know, but apparently they can have a nasty little bite. They can bite humans. They feel like mosquitoes, so a very similar bite to the mosquito. So I guess they could nibble at the tadpoles, even if they can't eat a whole one. They could bite them, they could injure them. So they're going to have to come out. So I've managed to get out 2. There are 2 in this little jar here. Hopefully you'll be able to see them swimming around. And actually you can get a really good view in just a moment of their evil red eyes. But you should be able to see that they are swimming on their backs. Let me put the magnifying glass in front of the lens on my camera here. You should be able to get a good close-up view. But there you can just about make out the red of the eyes and the fact that they are on their backs. And they have these sort of long middle legs which they use like rowboat oars. Hopefully he'll turn around. We're looking at his back at the moment. If If you turn them around there, or you can see the eyes really good there. It's a really red, really bright red eyes. It's really quite amazing. So anyway, there's 2 in there, and I've got 3 more in my tank, which of course I'm going to have to get rid of. Yeah, but you can see quite clearly there how it's on its back, so its legs are up on the water, or the underside of the water surface, and there you can see them swimming around there. Yeah, so these are the carnivorous ones, so we can't have them in there just in case they do start to nibble at the tanks, and that's what I'm not sure about with the newt as well, because the newts will obviously eat tadpoles, but at the moment they're very small. Oh yeah, here we go. This is where that newt egg is. So over the weekend that has hatched out. So the last clip where you saw it, that was still there. This is now Monday morning, so it has hatched out over the weekend, but where it is, I don't know. As I was saying before, they're much shyer than the tadpoles, and they like to hide. I don't see them very often in the tank. So have a look at the plants here. If you remember back from when I first put the plants in, the plants here have grown extremely fast. I mean, this particular plant is kind of coming out of the water. This one over here, this one's come way out of the water. And some of the plants, they don't actually do too well once they've come out of the water, but that one seems fine. If we look at the Elodia, you can see how high that one's going there. If we look at the Elodia over here, there are some shoots coming off, and some of that's coming above the water. If we look over into this other bit here, this bit here has come out of the water. That's been out of the water for a while, and you can see it's kind of dying. The leaves kind of die. They don't seem to do too well once they come out of the water, but you can see lots of new shoots growing, and they've grown really, really fast. There's a lot more plant stuff in there than when I first put them in. So at least the conditions obviously appear to be good for the plants in there. Yeah, so right, I'm going to get rid of those water boatmen. So I've got myself a pipette, I've cut the end off, so it's a nice wide opening, and I can actually use this to suck them out of the water. So I just need to find where they are. There are 3 more in here, so let's try and grab these. I'll put the pipette into the water, and I can use it to suck up the little water boatmen, the greater water boatmen, or back swimmers as they're known. So there's one. I'm going to stick that in the jar with the rest of them. Let's just put them in there. Sorry, I haven't angled the camera very well here. There we go. So I've got 3 of them floating around in there, swimming around. I've got 2 more to get if I can find them. And all I'll do with these, I will just put them back into the pond. Yeah, so once I've done that, I think we're pretty much coming to the end of this episode. So I want to say thank you very much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this. I really, really enjoy making these episodes. Before long, there's the other one. I got one more in there. We'll squirt that into the beaker. So before long, we should notice some change in the tadpole. Some of them are getting really quite big. If you only sort of see them every now and again, you can see how big they're getting, and they'll start changing in shape. And we need to keep a lookout for the back legs, and when they start emerging. And will probably be another sort of few weeks yet. I'll need to sort of check up on the time scale of things. But there we go, that's our last one. Last greater water boatman back swimmer there in there. So those I'm just going to put back into the pond, and we'll just have to see how they're going. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you come back next time on Shredder's Frog Watch. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.